The film opens with a girl, terrified, running through her own house, trying to hide from something. Then, cut. We see Benny. He looks shaken, as if carrying a heavy shock. By morning, it's clear. Talking to his friend, Benny admits he's tired, worn out. He just wants a break. His plan, to ride his bike up to the CROPTEX trail, spend some time away from the world, just with himself. His friend actually likes the idea. A little later, Benny packs a few things into his car and drives off. He stops outside a small general store, pulls out his bike, and steps inside to buy supplies. And there, inside the store, is the same girl we saw at the beginning. Scared, shaken. Now she's staring at Benny in this strange, unsettled way. When Benny comes back out and takes his bike from the car, the girl follows him outside, watching, still staring. And then Benny rides off, fast, pushing himself forward on the road ahead. Heading toward Crivelli, Benny spots a waterfall. He stops, drinks some water, rests for a while, then sets off again. After covering quite a distance, he suddenly has to stop. One of his bike tires bursts. As he checks it, a car comes from behind at full speed, slamming into him. It's the same car we saw outside the general store, and inside, the same girl. Seeing Benny unconscious, she panics. First, she checks his pulse, listens for his heart. When she's sure he's alive, she lifts him into her car and drives away. Far down the road, they come across a cabin, isolated, far from any town. She knocks, but no one answers. She peers through the windows, tries every angle. When it's clear no one is inside, she breaks a window and steps in. Everything is covered in dust, thick, untouched. It's clear now, whoever lived here hasn't been back for a long time, and maybe they never will. Cut to later, inside the cabin. Benny lies wounded, his arm and head badly injured. The pain is so sharp he can't even stand. He can't remember what happened with the med box, or how he even got here. When Benny regains consciousness, the girl, the one who hit him, comes close. After a few words, she realizes Benny remembers nothing about the accident, so she hides the truth. When Benny asks, "How did I get here?" she lies, "I found you unconscious on the road. I brought you here. This is my uncle's old place." Benny tells her, "You should have called an ambulance. Look at my arm." But she refuses. We're deep inside Crow Valley. There's no service out here. Benny groans with pain and asks her to help. She's no doctor, but hearing she bandaged his bones and brought him into the kitchen. She was panicked. Her mind echoed strangely. And suddenly, the scene flashes back. We see the girl fighting with her mother. Shaken by her mother's words, she approaches a window, and on the other side, she sees a terrifying entity. Fear grips her even more. Cut back to the present. The girl starts cooking. Benny arrives. For the first time, he asks her name. She says, "Greta." Benny feels embarrassed. Greta is doing so much for him, but Greta says, "It's okay. It's my duty." She serves him food. After eating, Benny says he needs to go to the hospital. Greta replies, "The hospital is far, and I don't have a car. I had to get help to bring you here." As they talk, Greta suddenly recalls her past. Greta is deeply frightened because she suffers from depression. She doesn't take her medication and always feels like someone is following her, like a ghost behind her. The voices of this entity constantly haunt her mind. Tonight, while she was using her phone, her mother came in and scolded her. She had seen all the medicines Greta had dropped. Greta lied, saying she takes them every day. Cut back to the present. Greta is still surrounded by those voices, the same voices that tormented her in the past. This time, the voices are clear. They urge her to kill Benny. Driven by them, she grabs a knife from the kitchen and heads toward Benny's room. She's about to strike when she suddenly regains awareness. She enters her room, but the voices follow her. But now, the voices grew even louder, punishing her for not listening. Greta was exhausted. She buried her face in a pillow, screaming, trying to make them stop, but the voices refused to be silenced. Morning comes. Benny steps outside, hoping to find a nearby clinic for treatment, or at least a ride. He walks for a long time, growing tired. No clinic, no lift. He stops by a tree to catch his breath, and spots a car in the distance, deep in the forest. Approaching it, he realizes it's a real car. He immediately rushes to tell Greta. Greta sees it too. We know the car belongs to her, but in front of Benny, she acts like she's never seen it. Benny begins to suspect Greta is lying, that the car is hers. Greta senses his doubt and, worried he's onto her, hurries back. To confirm his suspicion, Benny starts searching the house for the car keys. He finds them in a drawer in Greta's room. Greta, meanwhile, had gone into the forest to control the voices in her mind. She sees Benny heading toward the car and doesn't understand why. She rushes back to the house and finds her room in disarray. The car keys she had hidden are gone. Anger boils over and the voices push her toward doing something wrong. She grabs grabs a baseball bat from the closet and follows Benny. Before Benny can escape with the car, Greta yells, "Stay away from the car." Benny doesn't take her threat seriously and starts speaking to her. Greta swings the bat, striking him hard on the head. Benny goes unconscious. Dragging him back inside, she lays a sheet on the kitchen floor, seats him on a chair, and ties him up tightly with tape. When Benny comes to, he is shocked. Benny couldn't believe a girl so small could do this to him. He asks Greta, "Why are you doing this? What did I ever do to you? Just let me go. Whatever you want, money, anything, you can have it." But Greta's mind is possessed by the voices. She ignores him, lifts a hammer, and threatens, "Tell me your real name, or I'll break your hand." He tells her his name is David. The moment she hears it, the voices in her head roar even louder. They drive her completely mad. Under their influence, she strikes David's hand with the hammer, badly injuring him. His screams snap her out of it. The voices stop, and Greta comes to her senses. Horrified at what she's done, she approaches David and shows him a picture, her and her sister. Now David remembers Greta was the sister of the girl from before. 8 years ago, David had caused an accident that killed her. Seeing the truth before him, David panics. He starts making excuses. "It wasn't my fault. She ran in front of me. I tried to help, but she was already gone." Greta snaps. "That's a lie. When you saw her, she was alive. She was calling for help, and you, out of fear, left her to die alone." David tries to convince her. "Believe me, I checked. I hoped." Greta cuts him off. "You were drunk that day. You remember nothing." Suddenly, the voices return in Greta's mind, urging her to kill David. She screams, blaming him for every misfortune in her life, ready to strike his head with a hammer. Before she can, she hears a truck approaching from outside, the owner of the house. Greta goes out and asks him. The man asks, "Who are you?" She makes an innocent face and says, "I was just passing by. I had an accident, had no choice but to take shelter here." Then, trying to stop him from going inside, she asks, "Can you give me a ride a little way?" The man doesn't respond. Seeing the blood on her clothes, he realizes something is wrong. He pushes Greta aside and rushes inside. Before he can reach the kitchen and see David, Greta grabs the baseball bat lying on the floor and swings it at him, knocking him unconscious. This time, the blood flows freely. She hit him hard. Seeing so much blood, Greta comes to her senses again and realizes what she's done. She tries to stop the bleeding, but it's too late. Greta's attack has damaged his brain, and he dies from blood loss. Greta breaks down completely. She leaves him there and goes into a room, looking at a picture of her sister and crying. Meanwhile, David, who had been tied up in the kitchen for a long time with Greta away, David got a chance to escape. He spots a knife lying on the kitchen floor. Dropping to the ground, he grabs it and starts cutting his bonds. After a long struggle, he frees one hand, then his mouth, the other hand, and finally his legs. He quickly grabs the car keys from the counter, trying to start the car and drive away. But luck isn't on his side. The engine won't start. Meanwhile, Olivia hears noises. She rushes to the car, realizing David will try to escape with it. Hearing the commotion, David slips out of the car and hides in the forest. Greta searches frantically, looking to kill him, but David hides under a thick tree trunk. Greta passes by, unaware. Shaken, memories flood David. Everything from years ago comes back. The Crovaley incident, when he was drunk, he caused an accident that killed Greta's sister while she was riding her. He had even gone outside to help her, but saw Greta's sister unconscious. Her pulse was faint. She was alive. David didn't have the courage to help. To avoid the police, he got back into his car and drove away. He was still deeply ashamed of what he had done, hurt by his actions, but for now, he just wanted to survive. When he realizes Greta has gone far, he slips out from under the tree. He remembers the house owner had arrived in a truck. David plans to take the truck and escape. Approaching the house, he searches for the keys. Suddenly, Greta appears, holding the knife and the truck keys right in front of him. Determined, David reaches for the keys, but as he stands, Greta lunges with the knife, trying to attack him. Both of them fall to the ground. Greta is fully intent on killing David, and in the struggle, David fights to save. David manages to fully control Greta. He tries to take the knife from her hand while she forcefully drives it toward his stomach. In the struggle, the knife ends up stuck in Greta's own stomach. She dies on the spot. David quickly grabs the car keys and runs toward the truck. He's about to drive away, but suddenly realizes Greta might still be alive. He doesn't want to repeat his past mistake. He doesn't want to let an innocent person die. He rushes back to help her. Inside the house, he checks her pulse. She's alive. Dragging her onto a cloth, he carries Greta to the truck. He wants to get her to a hospital as fast as possible. Half the journey is done when Greta regains consciousness. In shock, she pulls the knife from her stomach. Blood gushes out. David immediately stops the truck and helps stop the bleeding, but Greta dies here as well. The story reveals that Greta never got to avenge her sister. The voices she heard, the ghosts she saw, they were her sisters. That ghost had been forcing her to kill David. When Greta dies, the ghost appears one last time, standing before the defeated David. And with this, the story ends. So friends, if you liked the video, please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to like, comment, and share.